Hola, hola. It's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my love. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first one. This is a good episode if it's your first. You're about to get inducted into the Confidence Chronicles. It has been wild. As y'all know, I live in Melbourne, Australia, and we literally just got out of lockdown. Like last week, we won the award for most lockdown city in the world, which is a shitty award to win. And to be honest, I don't even know how to be with people now. Like I'm walking down the street like an introvert. I love people. I love groups of people. I love crazy madness, packed out shopping centers, like sardines in a can with people. I love being next to people. I fucking love people. But now your girl over here is like, oh my God, what are all the humans doing out? It's pretty crazy. I'm going to be truthful. I don't feel social anxiety, but I didn't think I would feel weird about seeing a bunch of humans together. And maybe some of my judgments, maybe some of my confusion about what's going on in this crazy country right now with our shit. Australia's tripping. There's a lot of hectic stuff happening. But I'm good. I lost my voice last week. I think it was a week and a half ago now. I lost my voice completely. This is the second time this year in 2021 that I lose my voice. Let me take a sip of water. Speaking of. And I think it is because I haven't been resting. And this, if you've been listening to my podcast, this is my pattern, right? I do not rest. I don't take a break, blah, blah, blah. So boring now, Erica. Like, hurry up and take a break. So my body was like, fuck you, I'm going to shut off. And literally my voice shut down. And I had to cancel my sisterhood day, which y'all know I don't be canceling nothing. I had to cancel it and reschedule it for the following weekend. My website crashed and my emails went down. Now, if that is not a sign saying, yo, we're going to just shut the world down so your ass can rest, I literally took the entire weekend off. Oh my God. I haven't taken a weekend off since I can remember. And I don't say that with a badge of honor. I say that actually embarrassed that I have not myself taken a weekend off. So your girl over here is, thinking about how I need to really create rest and find ways to do it. Because if I don't find ways, my body will shut down. That's what's going to happen. That's what happens to all of us. So that's been my journey. Last weekend, when I got my voice back 7 days later, I spoke at the most incredible event in Canada. Shout out to my Canadian listeners. Oh my goodness. Shout out to all of my Canadian listeners. I love y'all. I spoke at a Choose Happy event for Your Way Weight Loss. My girl, Alicia and Jose, they were on the podcast the episode before this one, a couple episodes ago, and they are just like my spirit animals. It was so incredible. I was in a stadium or a theater, straight up theater in Canada. 500 people were there. 500 women were there. A couple men were there as well. And online, they sold 900 tickets virtually. So literally like 1,500 women gathering to talk about choosing happy and letting go of shit that doesn't serve them and reclaiming their confidence. And oh my God, I can't tell you, I felt so emotional. I was so happy that my voice was back. So I did that. We had our sisterhood day on Halloween, and then we had a little Halloween party, which was our first real outing with humans here in Melbourne for our family. So it's been busy. It's been crazy. We have just launched Next Level November. As you probably have heard all the ads in my podcast about it. I'm on fire because so many people are like, how do I work with you? How do I do coaching? I'm ready to work on myself. I'm ready to take everything you talk about in the podcast and implement that shit. And I'm like, come, let me coach you. I would love to be your coach. I would love to work with you. The sisterhood is not only incredible, but super affordable. It's a payment plan for 12 months because I really want to get this work around the world. I know that women need to be doing this work, especially after our fucking 2 years that we had. Anyway, long story short, biggest intro ever. I'm excited to be back with you. I'm not driving. Haha. I'm sitting in my office with my pink wall my nice microphone, snapping away over here, talking to you. So today's episode is a big motherfucker. We can't get away from this shit. So if you're tired of hearing about COVID and pandemic and vaccinations and mandates and all that shit, I'm sorry to tell you, but that shit ain't going nowhere. And we could keep pretending that it's not real and it doesn't exist and it's not going to affect us, or we could actually talk about it. And I have had to talk about it. I didn't want to speak about it inside of the sisterhood. I actually was like, I don't want to bring this into my program. I don't want to bring this into my world. But the reality is that everyone is getting faced with this in different areas. And so I really wanted to bring this topic to your attention. I wanted to bring my spin on it. I wanted to end my silence on it and really tell you where I'm coming from and how I see it. And hopefully this helps you be able to deal and address the people in your family who may be pressuring you, or your friends on Facebook who may be posting shit that's, triggering you or whatever. I hope that this podcast helps you to really be able to learn how to communicate this topic. And it's really about, what do you do when you don't agree on the narrative around the pandemic? What do you do when your family is pressuring you to get a vaccine or to not get a vaccine, or your friends are isolating themselves from you, or your kids can't go to do certain things because you chose not to, or you chose to? Excuse me. That's what this topic is about. It's how do we talk to people who disagree with us? How do we be with that? And inside of my group, I was sharing, someone asked a question for our hot seat coaching. So every month I do a live coaching call with the ladies, and somebody asked a question. And this person who asked, shout out to you, I love you. She is a nurse. Okay. So she works in a hospital and she's firsthand seeing, what she sees in the hospital. So her view and her point is that view. And so she asked, I think it's really irresponsible that my family doesn't want to get vaccinated, and some of my friends, how do I, be with them? It's really triggering me and it's upsetting me because I think they're irresponsible. Can't they see that they're hurting people, et cetera, et cetera? So there are some people out there listening to this podcast that agree with that. There are other people that don't agree with that. The point here is nobody is wrong. Say it with me now. Nobody is wrong. You know why? Because there are 8 billion people on the planet, and all of those people, all of those humans have their own narrative, have their own stories, have their own experiences, have their own way and filter on how they see the world. It's like me telling you, how come you're not confident? How come you give a fuck what people think about you? Don't you understand that other people's opinions are on them? Don't you understand that you can create confidence? Come on, what's wrong with you? If I said that to you, you'd be like, fuck you, you're an asshole. I'm never listening to your podcast again, right? That's probably what you would say. Instead, I understand why you lack confidence. Instead, I understand why you care what people think. I understand that because I was just like you. So I speak from a place of support and understanding, not of judging you and forcing you to do what I do and think how I think and become me. And I think that's really important. So first and foremost, we need to understand that I am not you. You are not me. That person is not going to think like you because they're not you. If we just get that basic understanding that nobody should do what you're doing because you're doing it, they're going to do what they do. Each one of us has our own way of being, our own way of thinking. Now, instead of worrying about why doesn't that person think like me? Why don't they do what I do? How can I convince them to believe what I believe? And if I don't convince them, and if they don't believe what I believe, I am going to make fun of them. I'm going to speak down to them, and I am going to judge and project onto them. That's some fucked up shit right there. I don't care what side you're on. And on today's podcast, I'm not telling you my side because my side doesn't matter. What I'm hoping in this episode is to give you some awareness so that you can become more understanding and more compassionate to people you don't agree with. Now, we're talking about COVID, vaccines, mandates, pandemic. You could use this episode in any part of your life with any person you don't agree with. Because, my love, the principle is the fucking same. The principle is the same. There's some people with different religious backgrounds, sexual orientations, the way they dress, the way they mother, the way they father, the way that they teach, the way that they do things, the way that they dress. I mean, enter anything here. There are differences that we have as human beings. Now, why does it get tricky when we talk about COVID? I think it gets tricky. Aubrey Marcus, who has a podcast as well, put it in such a good way. He said, we're talking about freedom and safety. The people who feel like they're being forced feel like they're losing their freedom. The people who feel like people are not getting vaccinated, people aren't wearing a mask, they feel like their safety and their security is being threatened. Nobody's wrong. If a mother is putting a mask on a newborn baby because she's literally scared that that baby can catch COVID, now I think that's ridiculous. But what does she think? If she's doing it, maybe she's scared. So her priority is safety. Instead of judging her, how do we get into her shoes? And we're going to do an exercise together in this episode. But does that make sense? To me, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Your baby's not going to catch COVID. Like, what's wrong with you, lady? To somebody else who may feel that or had a child that caught COVID or whatever would go, oh my God, great idea, because that's dangerous. So why are we making fun of people? For her, it's about safety. Now, for somebody who chooses not to get a vaccine and they get kicked out of their job, they don't feel free, or they get told you can't come here because you haven't been vaccinated. They feel like their freedom is being taken away. Now, you could agree or disagree, but in their shoes and in their eyes, that is their freedom according to them. So we're fighting about freedom and safety. And instead of fighting about it, what we need to do, and this is genuinely what I believe. Look, don't take what I say as gospel. It's just what I believe. And you listen to my podcast, so maybe you give a fuck about what I think. But what I think is we need to come to a place of understanding and compassion. Because you know what's going to happen? We are not all going to agree. We are not going to agree. It's never going to happen that every fucking human being on planet Earth is going to agree with every other human being. Can we stop wishing for that? Because that's not going to happen. That's like saying peace on earth. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Will there be peaceful moments? Yes. Will there be moments where we all agree about something? Yes. But there will always be people who disagree with you. There will always be moments of unpeace, like not peaceful moments. Difficulties, resilience building, hard times, traumas, all of this is a part of the human experience. And I think that we get it twisted, like we all have to agree, or this world's a bad world. It's not a bad world. It's called people disagreeing. And if we could do it respectfully, and how do we do it? Each and every one of us have to take our responsibility. So instead of wishing for the world to be kind, you be kind. I say this many times on my podcast. Instead of wishing that people would just do what you wanted them to do, you do what you want to do. And I hope that other people do what they want to do. And that's called freedom and happiness for each human being. And not judging people and making up stories that you think are the way when you actually don't know what's going on for that other human being. There is so much you don't know about the person you're judging. There is so much you don't know about the person you are judging. And instead of not giving a shit and just judging them, how about you get to find out where they're coming from? How about we get to see the world in their eyes? And that's the reality of it. We're going to give an example here. I'm going to use person A, person B, and person C. Okay? So person A works in the hospital, is a nurse, and has family that are from the hospital. They've got nurses, they've got doctors, they've went to college, they've loved science, they've studied that. They work in the hospital system, and every day they see firsthand what's going on with COVID and patients and vaccine and all the things. Person A works in the hospital system, and they see this, and they are for vaccine mandates. They are for people not leaving their homes without a mask. They are for it, okay? That's person A. Person B is a person who has had someone in their life have an injury to a vaccine. Person B is someone who doesn't believe in the mandates, someone who's more free and likes their freedom and wants to do what they want to do and doesn't believe in mandating. That's person B. Okay? Person B has a history of someone in their family being injured by a vaccine. Cool? Now, person C is total conspiracy on the other side, conspiracy theorist, doesn't believe any of this shit, believes in depopulation or whatever the conspiracy is, and that's according to people, they are conspiracy theorists. Now, I don't judge conspiracy theory people because a lot of people who they said were conspiracy theorists, this shit's actually happening. So I don't call anyone a conspiracy theorist, but I'm using this in example A, B, and C. Person A, medical person. Person B doesn't believe in mandates, has someone be injured by a vaccine. Person C is what most people would call conspiracy theorist, right? Now, I want to use Australia as an example. If you live in America, I'm sorry. If you live overseas, I'm sorry. I'm going to use the country that I live in right now as an example because it's such a good example, okay? Now, person A is like my client. She's amazing. She works. She sees it firsthand. If I step in the shoes of person A and I'm in an emergency room in full PPE and I see people coming in with COVID, it feels full on. Now I'm working all day, all night. There's not enough nurses, not enough beds. It is a scary place to be. Can you, for a second, pretend to step into the shoes of person A? Just pretend. I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but can you see if every day I go to work, I'm exhausted, I'm in this gear, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm risking my life according to me because I'm around people with COVID. And if I look at the news and if I look at my world, they say it's very scary. I know that the rate, the death rate, the recovery of COVID, we know, and this is not something I'm making up, you can Google it, is 99% plus, right? So to me, when I think about COVID, I don't think it's deadly because I think recovery 99% plus doesn't feel deadly. But the reality is people do die and people have died. And if you're listening and you've lost someone to COVID, I am very sorry for your loss because that has to be so hard. So person A is doing this work in a hospital. It's full on for her or him or they, and it's big for them. So they walk around their world knowing that COVID is a big deal and that it's really hard for them at work. Now, person A sees person B out in the streets and they meet and person B is like, I'm not getting the vaccine. I don't believe this. I don't believe in mandating. And they're upset about it. How do you think person A is going to feel? They're going to be upset. They're going to be puzzled because every day they go to work and they're faced with COVID patients. That's what they see. I know you don't want to agree, everybody, but can you please understand the position that person A is coming from? The position. If I step into her shoes, I get her. I understand where she comes from. I don't have to agree with her, but I understand where she comes from. Now, catch yourself going, yeah, but. No, that's not understanding. That's still you trying to prove yourself right. Let's just understand for a second. It's pretty silent in understanding. We just sit there pretending to be that person and walk around in her shoes, seeing the world in her way. Cool? Person A. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm very excited because this is only happening one time and it is on right now. You're listening to this podcast, which means you want to work on yourself. You're interested in growth. You're interested in becoming the next level version of yourself. I know that this year and last year was so hectic for so many women, and my beautiful clients in the sisterhood have told me time and time again how they don't know where they would be without this community, without this self-work, without reflection, without accountability, without working and healing all the trauma and the shit that we all go through. I want to let you know that Next Level November is live. Every single week in November, we're going to be dropping a brand new offer. It is enticing. It is amazing. But unfortunately, it only lasts for 7 days. So once the offer goes live, you either join us or you miss out on it every single week till the end of November. We are currently in this episode in week 1. And I am so pumped for it because it is kicked off with a bang. There are only 10 spots available in each week until it's exhausted. And if you've been waiting and wanting to work on yourself, now is the time. If you're listening to this and week 1 is already over, get your booty onto it. Every single week, something will unlock and it lasts for 7 days. Once it is gone for good. If you're ready to level up, if you're ready to let go of the opinion of others, if you're ready to stop comparing yourself and start standing in your power, reclaiming your confidence, making peace with your past so that that shit doesn't define you anymore and you get to create the life you want, the sisterhood is for you. Next Level November is live. Go to thequeenofconfidence.com, click on sisterhood. I got you. All right, enough chatting for me. A lot of talking, a lot of chatting. Back to the episode. I love you. Now we got person B. Now, I have a good friend who her son was injured, unfortunately, from a vaccine. I've got a few friends like this, maybe more than person A, but I've got friends like this. And my kids are both anaphylactic, and I'm really hesitant about certain things for my children because of their anaphylacticness, or whatever it is you want to call it. So person B, let's say it's my friend. Her son was injured from a vaccine, literally brain damaged. Wasn't the COVID vaccine, just another vaccine. So her son was brain damaged. What do you think happened as a mother? Her baby gets this vaccination, brain damage. He's literally 30 and he operates like a 6-year-old. Her whole life she had to look after him. Her other child had to help. So her whole life was changed due to these vaccines that her son got. Now her son, he's a mixed child, so who knows his background or his family background or the history. We don't know what happened. But for her, he got injured from a vaccine. Now her whole life, she has been vaccine hesitant. She has done the natural thing with her family. She's against mandating. She's against medical. She's against trials. And the COVID vaccine, as of right now, 2021, November 2nd, which I'm recording this, is still in trial. So it hasn't been 10 years of COVID vaccine research. We don't know long-term effects. This is not a conspiracy. It's actually true. We don't know. So I can stand in person B's shoes and understand how she would be worried, and she would say hell no to vaccinating her child or vaccinating herself. I can understand her. Now, can you understand her when you listen to her background and her story? And if you're listening to her, the answer is usually yes, I can understand where she's coming from. Does it mean she's right? No. It doesn't mean she's right, but it means you can understand why she's choosing not to mandate it, why she doesn't agree with what's going on. Now, let's just take those two people right now. Person A, her bias, her confirmation bias, her cognitive dissonance is going to be all towards the medical research from whatever country she's in, finding out how many people die, how contagious COVID is, the rates, the percentages, the case numbers, all that. That's going to be her world, right? Person B, she's going to be looking at vaccine injury. She's going to be looking at how many people had heart condition issues because of the COVID vaccine. She's going to be looking at how many adverse reactions, how many people died from the COVID vaccine. She's going to be looking at that. Now, person A is not going to be looking at the vaccination damage. Person B is not going to be looking at the cases. Are you getting what I'm saying? Nobody is right, okay? Person A has every right in her life, in her shoes, the way she lives in her world, to be looking for what she's looking for. And guess what? She finds it because she's looking for it and she's following that and she's liking that on Instagram and Facebook, and the algorithm will give you more of what you like. They'll actually push you. I don't know if you listen to the Facebook whistleblower, but they'll actually push you to far left if you're left, far right, extreme. They show you extreme things. Why? So you could fight and argue with people. And please stop arguing with people on Facebook. What a terrible idea. I don't know who made that up to fight with people on Facebook. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because you're not going to convince person A to think like person B because she's person A. Person B has every right to feel how she feels. The problem is we're trying to go, but who's right? That's the problem. Nobody's right here. I get why a scientist or a medical student believes the way they believe. I get why a woman her child has been injured by a vaccine, or worse, knows someone who's got the COVID vaccine and had heart swelling or blood clotting or their period went weird. I understand why they're hesitant or even anti-vax. Do I agree? I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying I understand. I'm saying I understand. And can we move to understanding? We have to. If we don't move to understanding, we're going to be at war with our fucking neighbors because they don't agree with us. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Now, look at person C. You want to label them if you want as a conspiracy theorist or whatever. They're far, far to the other side. They don't believe any of this shit. They think depopulation, Bill Gates, whatever, all the things you could think of that you've heard on TV or the radio, that's that person, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that person, by the way, because I'm sure that person C has evidence in their life that they have found, and that's why they are that way. I'm not agreeing with anybody. I'm not disagreeing with anybody. I think every single one of them is right in their own way. Okay? Just notice right now if you're triggered in this podcast as well. What is coming up for you as you listen to me? And pay attention to that. That's the work for you. What is coming up for you while you listen to this? Oh, fuck a person A, motherfucker, blah, 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 person B, oh, fuck this, person C, oh, Erica, What's coming up for you? That's your shit, by the way, okay? Just pay attention to that as you listen to me. Pay attention to your body, what's happening for you in your body. Okay. Now, in Australia, the country of Australia, the government released AstraZeneca vaccination, whatever. Okay? They released AstraZeneca and they said it's only for certain people at this age. Under 50, you can't get AstraZeneca. I don't remember the exact age. I think it was 50. If I'm wrong, please don't email me. I don't care. I'm not trying to say it to be right. I'm just saying it as an example, okay? So under 50, you can't get AstraZeneca. All right, cool. Now, they put that shit on the news. The head of the governments, everybody said this. The fear was out there. First of all, people are already scared because they developed the vaccine faster than most vaccines, right? Or so we know. I don't even know. But that's where people were already scared about it, okay? So there's already hesitancy around the world with this. They're also scared of catching COVID. There's fear with that. Now the government says you can't take this vaccine because if you're under 50, it's not for you because it can cause blood clotting, which it does and it has, or it can cause heart swelling in young men, blah, 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 right? Now, can you understand why person C would be even more inflamed now? Now, person C even more inflamed. Oh my God, see? The government's even talking about it. This shit's fucked up. It's not da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Angry, upset, and validated. Person C. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying pay attention to why people become how they become. It is not just because they're trying to be assholes and piss you off. People become the way they are from what they experience and their world and what their world gives them and who they attract and who they interact with, what they watch on TV, if they watch TV. If you watch TV, you're fucking stressed out. The news 24/7 will mess with you if you watch that shit every day. If you watch reality TV every night, you're going to be judgmental as fuck. It's just the nature of the beast, my friend. If you meditate and you do breath work and you read books and you're patient and you listen, you're going to have a calmer fucking heart rate than the person that watches the news every night. Does that make sense? Are you with me? It makes sense, okay? Now, this rollout happens. Then Australia decides, no, everybody can get it. They changed the name of the vaccine. That's not fishy. That's a little bit fishy. They changed the name. What happens to person B and person C? They're hesitant already. They're like, oh, there's something going on. Now all the conspiracies blow up even more. And I'm not saying they're not true or they are true, but I am saying you look at what Australia did. Of course, people are even more crazy now. And then the government decides to change how long in between shots you can get. It's meant to be 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Oh no, 3 weeks. You can get one shot and then in 3 weeks get another shot. Now, is that official medical advice from a prime minister or is that just somebody saying hurry up so we hit our rate so we can open up? I don't know. Either way, you could see why person B and person C would be worried, frustrated, upset. Now throw onto it people dividing and fighting because people are not doing the work. If you are triggered with this coronavirus, pandemic, vaccination, mandates, fucking segregation, all the shit, if you are triggered, whichever side you're on, please know that that is your shit, your trauma being triggered. And because we don't work on our own stuff, most people don't work on ourselves, we don't know how to deal with it. So we explode and we fight and attack and judge other people. I had a message in my inbox recently from a lady who said, I can't believe you opened your gym. You're complying with the segregation and the medical segregation. Because my husband owns a gym and he had to open the gym. Doesn't mean we agree of only letting vaccinated people into our gym. We had to open the gym. Did she ask us why or what happened? No. She just hit me with a bit of judgment. And I politely told her, hey, this is why we did it. Also, please don't judge because you don't know what people are going through. She apologized. She's so lovely. We're friends on Instagram now. But the point of the story is That is a reflection of what's going on in our world. We are judging people for getting vaccinated, for not getting vaccinated, for opening up, for not letting people in who are jabbed, who aren't jabbed, for wearing a mask, for not wearing a mask. Oh, for saying this. I don't like what you said. It's uncomfortable. You're dangerous. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You wear a tin hat. You're anti. You're pro. You're a sheep. What the fuck? None of it is helpful. How does that make you feel? You feel right? Does that make you feel right? So you make other people's wrong, you're right, that feels good to you? That's your ego. That's your trauma. That's your shit that you have not worked on. And we suck at communication. We suck at saying, hey, this is how I feel about what you shared or what you posted or what you said. Can we talk about it? People are losing friendships. People are losing family relationships. People not only are losing their jobs, they're getting into arguments with people on the street. In America, people are fighting. Like, the problem is that we are not doing our own work and asking ourselves, why are we triggered? Why can't I disagree with you and be happy about it? You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to do what I do. If you notice, I don't talk about what I do. I don't talk about vaccinating my kids or not. I don't talk about this. I don't talk about that. I'm here to teach you how to become more confident, own your shit, speak your truth, be who the fuck you came here to be, stop comparing yourself to other people. Owning your voice, standing up, creating the life you want, healing your trauma, taking responsibility. That's it. I'm not here to give you medical advice, but I'm doing this podcast right now because we are divided, not because of vaccine or COVID or this or that. We're divided because we can't disagree. I'm like, yo, there are 8 billion people on the planet. They are not all going to agree with you. And instead of worrying about why they don't agree with you, ask yourself, why does that bother you? Why are you trying to convince somebody to believe what you believe? Why does that bother you? There's some righteousness there. There's some ego there. There's some trauma. There's some shit there that you need to work on. My trauma, and I talked about it already on the podcast, I got activated about the police and authority. The police beat my mother when I was a kid. The police arrested us. The police were fucking racist to us, not for the color of my skin, but for being Latina from where I grew up. I didn't like police. To be honest, I still don't feel comfortable calling the police. That's my trauma, and I get that. Doesn't mean all police are bad. Hell no. Not all police are bad. But that's my trauma. So when I look at police, I'm a little bit more clenched up than the average person because I have a history with that. So when I see the police shooting bullets at people that are protesting, I get activated. And I could become judgmental if I don't catch myself. But I'm aware of my shit. I'm aware of myself. That's why I don't say shit. I just be like, ooh, what about that is bothering you, Erica? Do the work on it. Do the work on it. Take responsibility for that. And I've been having difficult conversations with friends who don't agree with me on what I believe and what they believe. And they are great conversations. I want to see the world in another way. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you, but I want to understand why you think like that. I love humans. I love people, and I want to know why people think the way they think. If I don't seek that information, then I will not grow. I will be believing my own bullshit. I'm not going to evolve, and I'm not going to be compassionate and empathetic towards others. And I know myself to be a compassionate person. How does a compassionate person disagree with another person? You listen. Interesting. Thank you for your point of view. I don't agree with that, but I could see how you believe that. Yeah, I could see that for you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. I don't agree. Definitely don't agree. It's not for me, but thank you for sharing that, and I appreciate your point of view. I appreciate where you're coming from. And if you can respectfully understand where I'm coming from, it's a no for me, or it's a yes for me. Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I've had conversations with friends that are like, I'm nervous about getting the vaccine, and I'm holding space for the nervousness. And then like, hey, go within and do what you need to do. What feels good for you? All right, Erica, thank you for that advice. I need to go within and just talk to myself and be with myself. Great. And when they come out of that, they do what they do. Doesn't matter. Anyway, want to catch up? Let's go for lunch. What do you want to do? Like nothing. I don't have to turn that into, let me convince you to do what I would do. No. I got friends on both sides. And it's not even two sides. We are on the same team. Fucking Team Earth. Team Human. Team Human. Don't try to, why are they doing that? That's not you actually caring about why. When you want to understand someone, hey, can you tell me more? I really want to understand why you don't want to do this. I really want to understand why you do want to do this. I really want to understand this, this, and this. That means you're willing to listen even if you don't agree. That's what that means. Catch yourself trying to convince your auntie to do what you want to do. Catch yourself trying to convince your best friend that she should do X, Y, Z. How? Why? My question to my sisterhood ladies, and I posted the video in the group, my question was, why do you need to convince people to do what you want to do? Why do you feel like you need to convince someone? That's a better question. Not why are they choosing to or not do. They're choosing to or they're not choosing to. Who cares? People do shit all day, every day that you disagree with. Who cares? Why are you triggered about it? That's what I want to know. And that's what I hope you want to know. Shit, why does that bother me? Ooh, something's being activated in me right now. Ooh, shit's bubbling up for me. How? Why? What's going on? If you could find the reason why it bothers you and you get to working on that for your damn self, you will be a better human on planet Earth. And it won't need to be because you did what they did or you didn't disagree. You could do whatever the hell you want to do. But trust you me, if you get triggered right now, if any of this shit's bothering you, if you are projecting your opinion on other people, if you are judging people, even in your head secretly, there's something there to look at if you choose to. And here's what I know. When I look at the judgments that I have, and I have had many in the past 2 years, I always get it gives me some light. It gives me some information about myself. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I thought I already worked on that. Here we go again. Got to work on that judgment. Why does that bother me? That's why I don't need to talk about this shit. I don't need to convince anybody. I don't need to talk about jab, no jab, vaccine. I don't need to talk about it. Do you, boo? I'm doing me, and I feel free and happy. Even though I was in the longest lockdown in the world, I was free as fuck in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul. I couldn't leave 5 kilometers from my house, but I was freer than free people who think they're free. And it's like, can you be free in your inner world? Inside your mind, in your heart and soul, are you free? Or are you in fucking prison, judging other people, fighting, angry, disagreeing with people? True freedom comes from inside of us. Now, that being said, doesn't mean you can't fight the good fight, whatever the good fight is for you. Right now in Australia, there's a crazy bill that they're trying to pass, and I disagree with that bill. I don't agree that they should be able to have pandemic powers even when there's not a pandemic. I don't agree that motherfucker, whatever his name is, Dan Andrews, should be able to lock down Melbourne whenever the fuck he wants and to arrest people for no reason. And to break into your home and do shit for no reason. I don't agree with that. Now, maybe you agree with that. And if I stood into your shoes and you explained to me why, maybe I could understand, even if I didn't agree with you. So it doesn't mean because you understand people, you don't fight for what you believe. That is not what I am saying. Fight the good fight. Fight what you believe. Do what you do. But have some compassion and understanding for why other people do what they do. And if we can't get to a place of human beings understanding each other and listening to each other and having empathy for each other, we're in a lot of trouble. We don't need to worry about COVID. We got to worry about that, the human condition. Because we're going to be on this planet with many people who disagree with us. And how are we going to react? What are you going to do? How are you going to react? How are you going to treat your fellow human? Are you going to judge people? Are you going to project your shit onto them? Are you going to talk shit about them and gossip about them? Make fun of them? Call them names? I mean, anti and sheep? That is the worst. To call someone a sheep and call somebody anti? To wish something bad happens to some other group of people because they don't agree with you? To me, that's a bigger problem than the pandemic. To me, that is a problem that each of us can work on and we can fix that shit up. And we can create some love, some good heart space where we can hold space for people who disagree with us and still be kind about it. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of inner work. That takes a lot of honesty, compassion with yourself, and willingness not to be right, but to be kind. Not to be right, but to be kind. I know that's a big topic. Check in with yourself, how you feel about it. Maybe you want to unfollow me. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Up to you. But I had to talk on it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about get this, don't get this, do this, don't do that. It's not about that. At the end of the day, it's about why are you triggered? Why are you bothered? And how are you being as a human on planet Earth? Are you being kind? Or are you trying to be right? And I think Wayne Dyer is the one who coined that. Are you trying to be kind or are you trying to be right? Because if you want to be right, that's a different thing. But if you want to be kind, you are willing to listen, you are willing to hear people, and you can get to a place of understanding. And as a mother, as a parent, this is a skill that I believe every parent needs to have, because my kids will disagree with me and my kids will meet people who disagree with them. And I hope to teach them this lesson of, honey, you don't have to agree with people, but always be kind. And if we can't teach that to ourselves, how the hell are we going to teach that to our kids? I'm going to leave you with that one. I'm going to riddle me that, because that's a big one. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Sending you all the love in the world, my darling. Okay, the episode's over, but if you want to take this work deeper, if you're like, fuck, I love your episodes, Erica, your podcast is helping me. Imagine working with my ass for 12 months, live coaching. I will be coaching with you in an incredible community of like-minded queens doing the work. So if that is you and you are ready to do the work with me, head to thequeenofconfidence.com, click on Sisterhood, take advantage of Next Level November. I cannot wait to see you in there.